But it's a matter that numbers do make a difference. And I think that's something that all of us have kind of echoed in our conversation, to be the best band under the sun. And if you don't have the numbers that back it up, then you have work to do. You still have work to do from your end to build the popularity of the band to make it worth our attention and extra.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing from all of you is that, you think of a chicken and egg thing, like what has to happen first? Well, do you need to have 10,000 Twitter followers and, a strong Facebook? And how are you, how can, I know many of you are probably saying, well, how can we build a big local buzz if we can't, if we don't have actually that relationship first? And it just seems to be that, there can be many, this is what I'm hearing from them, is that there's many different ways. I mean, your metrics need to be strong, and that's completely up to you, whether, how you work your Twitter and your Facebook. Are you replying to people? Are you getting the word out there? Are you networking online? Are you building that kind of buzz? Because these are the factors. What else do they have to look for but that these days? It could be a great recording, and, that's awesome. That has to be there. That's assumed, really. In this day and age, you should be able to record yourself and have a very strong album out there that represents your sound, so that our panelists know, okay, I get this immediately. This would work with fun. Maybe, and if there is an opening, then they would be willing to even consider that. So it really does seem like the responsibility is on the artist's part to control their own destiny in this type of thing. Because the ultimate goal here, obviously, is to build that buzz up strong within your market, so that you start creating some noise. I mean, as an entertainment attorney, I can tell you, I get involved when something is reacting well in one way or another. Maybe the song was added at radio, that doesn't happen very much anymore, but maybe there's a huge surge online. Things are reacting really well, blogs are picking it up, things like that. And, from there, in my experience, that's when you get their attention. And it really just seems, it goes to the point of how you can continue that momentum. So continuing with that momentum, booking tours, outside of your market. What's some advice about, how to actually accomplish that? Let's just say there's a local band here in Orlando, they want to start, they have a pretty decent following. What is some advice that you could give to them that are, that would help them navigate and help book shows? Matt, I know you were saying, you were early on, you were just booking, your friends' bands. How were you getting a hold of people? What were you doing in order to expand your market reach?
I mean, me personally, what I was doing was calling promoters that I met that my friends' bands had played for when I was on tour with them, and asking them to book for the artists I worked with at the time. Say it'd be a band called Piebald, who was from my area and had gotten back together and needed somebody to help them book their shows. And they kind of had a little buzz going on because they're a reunion, and that helped. But I would say if you're a local band from Orlando or the area, I would work on getting all the way up to Tallahassee, Gainesville, down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and work all of Florida, calling venues, calling promoters, and keep constantly emailing them updates of what's going on with you and your music and how you're drawn in Orlando and what you bring to the table, why they should be on the bill, because I think that has a lot, that says a lot. And as an agent, when I'm seeing an artist that's working all of Florida, and it makes it more appealing to me that somebody's hungry and is going to go, not just call and say, I need a booking agent to do this for me and that, when they're already doing it for themselves. I know they want to work as much as I'm working, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, to that point, you have these opportunities with other acts as well. So maybe there's a band in Tallahassee, maybe there's a band in Miami, maybe there's a band in Gainesville, and you guys network, and then you can trade off shows. So if I'm hearing you for the first time, and maybe you're doing 250 people in Gainesville, well, maybe you do 10 for me. But if you have the Orlando band that's going to do 250 people for me, you jump on that, and we trade shows. vice versa. Look, all of us promoters talk about it, so if you're emailing somebody in Jacksonville, and then they call me and say, man, they said they played the social and sold it out, and I'm like, I've never heard of it. And then he's going, well, they said they sold the social. I've never done it. So, but if we build that rapport with each other, and then I know, oh yeah, they just played it at 150 people on Wednesday night, you know, blah, 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 give them a shot, and he'll put them with a local band in Jacksonville, or you guys actually do the work. It makes it easier for us, because we've got an off night, and I know it's hard, seriously, because I've done it. You know, you don't want to play Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. But you're not going to get a Friday on your first shot. So there's a lot of those things that you guys can do to build those networks amongst yourselves. And then all of a sudden, people start talking about you, and everybody goes, oh my God, where did the Alabama Shakes come from?
One thing that I find really interesting is I get a ton of emails every day because we tend to tour bands through hard rock cafes around the country. But I get a lot of people who actually write me and they're like, well, we can do this, but we need $1,000 a night. And it's a band that nobody's ever heard of. So I'm thinking, if you're going out for the first time, it's got to be at your risk until you actually can show the venues that you are able to like generate some revenue for them on their side. So I would say for me, that's the important part of things. When we're looking at like actually getting bands out there and touring and through our cafe chain, it's people who are also willing to take the risk on their end and like put a little bit into it until we know that we can actually like work together from a financial standpoint. Just realize your value in this market before they start asking for money.
Yeah, persistence really is the key to all of this. I know when I first started out, doing these punk rock shows, I decided to take it up another level, call all the major agencies, and they must have not picked up my phone calls probably for about a month straight with me calling every day. I think it got to the point where I basically guilted them into picking up my phone call. And, I realized back now that, had I not done it that way, I may never have been in the situation that I am right now. So there's a lot to be said about a lot of hard work and persistence. I know it's very cliche, but really, nobody's going to hand over the world to you. You got to go take the world.
So, about taking the world, how do we get into these festivals that you all run? Because